Hello, hello. I think we are live, and
We
it
are
is
live.
Sunday, and it is what time is it? Gosh, it's 7:10. We spent most of the day today cleaning, getting rid of cat hair, dander.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the last remnants of our kitty experience is pretty much. Well, it won't be over because I'm sure we'll be picking up dander and hair
for quite
for
a
the next
while.
month or
Yeah,
so. Like underneath here,
yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a furry.
We had to like take the bed apart,
Yeah.
open, and it was just like.
And we cleaned our sheets.
And I was with cats for 1 month. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
just for 1 month.
But anyway, talking about experiment, one of the things that we, the Cummings, are very well known for is change and trying different things, and that's part of our MO. I mean,
That's what we do.
we're truth seekers, and we
Yeah.
love to experiment, and we love to try new things and see how things work. And we've been on the keto diet. We
did that.
We went back to eating animal products, and it's back and forth several times. And every single time we come to the conclusion that it is not healthy for us.
It isn't. It seems like every single time we're like turned back in the direction of eating a plant-based diet, and that seems to be what works for us in the long run.
Yeah.
Because every time we take these little detours into animal protein, meats, and all that kind of stuff, and added oils and things, we end up getting into trouble. And
we do. And I should know better. I mean, I have many years of experience dealing with nutrition. I owned my own gym for 11 years. Body's Under Construction. I put people on meal plans, experimented greatly with different body types and different diets, different people, and saw results. And one thing that every single person has in common is that consistency is the only thing the body knows.
And that's the truth. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're doing it like 1 time a week or 1 time a month, or 3 times a week or every other day. I mean, your body needs to be in a consistent process of living, right?
Because diets, although there's all sorts of diets, even what we're going to speak to you about today, the 1 meal a day diet, when it's not really a diet, it's a way of living and a way of consuming foods, a way of we've consumed foods for centuries, which we didn't have as breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks.
No, it didn't exist as we know it. Apparently, the Romans, ancient Rome, they did not eat but 1 meal a day. And they believed that a lot about the whole digestive process and how the body needed to replenish itself and everything. So they were real sticklers about it. And, it remained that way for a very long time. And it makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Until when? What happened that changed the mentality of this society that is so addicted to food that they feel that they need breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks in between?
Well, I think what happened was the Industrial Revolution happened, and work weeks happened, and businesses, marketing, all of that happened.
People are no longer were able to tend to their own gardens because they had to go to work, and they needed quick foods, snacks and ready available meals, and like things like when the TVs came along, the TV dinners, and all this crap that they're putting in their body that's really not helping them in the least.
Oh yeah, the whole concept of like the 50s housewife cooking up the big meal and everything, and the kids and the husband sitting down to eat dinner, that was a concocted, thing that was created in order to make these companies richer.
Of course.
Because before, I mean, people worked in the field, in the backyard, in their farms and stuff together as a family. And, I mean, they just, the word lunch is like a new word. It was like, lunch was dinner.
Yeah.
There was no breakfast.
No. And you know, we could go even further than that during the time where men, you know, had to find and gather their foods. You didn't go, oh, it's time for breakfast, let me open up the refrigerator. You had to literally work for your food. You literally had to find something to eat. And sometimes you couldn't find anything to eat. So this deal of having 3 square meals a day is bogus. You know?
Yeah, it was something that, you know, the Europeans that came to America, they would actually watch how the natives would eat. And they thought it was funny because the natives would basically, they would sometimes be able to eat and other times they fasted. And they thought that was uncivilized to not eat every day. And, you know, the whole concept of 3 square meals a day, well, that was like another thing that was basically the British, you know, Navy would want to serve their sailors and stuff 3 square meals a day, but that meant 3 squares.
Literally, a container that
like
was square.
little squares,
Yeah.
like rations.
Right.
Not 3 square meals, like
Right,
a square, you know,
like
full
nutritionally
yeah,
balanced and sound.
yeah. It wasn't that at all.
And, you know, the whole concept, and this is not a vegan promoting video, but the whole concept that human beings are able to consume meat, dairy, and all these things, it's absurd. Number one, we didn't have refrigeration. So try, first of all, without any tools, because we didn't always have guns and bows and arrows, catching your prey, the animal that you want to eat, skin it, and do it all before the animal starts to rot. And that happens very quickly. See, tigers and lions and carnivores eat rotten meat. It doesn't affect them. They have the enzymes.
The maggots,
yeah.
They'll eat all that.
They don't have to worry about that because they have the enzymes. Their intestines is very small. Ours is very long. We don't have the enzymes. And we can get food poisoning like that.
I mean, we watched a movie called Into the Wild about this guy that, you know, went into the wild and basically died in the wild, pursuing his, you know, oneness with nature and disconnection from society. And basically, there was a scene in the movie where he was actually like, he shot a moose or something. And it was like a big piece of meat that, you know, he had done his research before and he had learned how to skin it, how to do everything. But the guys were telling him, you need to do it within 40 minutes. You can't, you know, you can't
you don't have time
delay because it will rot just like that. And it did. He just like
all that work
for
nothing. And he felt bad as he killed a life that he couldn't even consume. So needless to say, okay, it's not a vegan video, but just to let people know, not only what you eat, but the timing or the lack thereof, excessive amount of eating. Now, this 1 meal a day plan, it's pretty much like an intermittent fasting. You know, it like you mentioned earlier, it's been around forever. It's nothing new. I mean, people think all of a sudden we have this discovery, so everyone just wants to get on the bandwagon
on the OMAD diet.
OMAD diet, like
OMAD.
I can eat whatever I want as long as I eat it within an hour, and I could lose weight.
Or within a 4-hour window.
Yeah, because everybody has a different way of doing it. We believe the proper way of doing the OMAD is
get in, get out.
23 hours of fasting, 1 hour in and get out. Now, some people think that within that hour, those that use the 23-1 ratio, they believe that they can eat whatever they want, whether it's cookies and cakes and ice cream and oil-ridden foods and anything like that.
Chianti and bolognese,
spaghetti bolognese,
all this
and
fatty food.
What's that dessert?
Oh yes, yeah, I forget.
Cannoli.
Yes, cannoli.
And you know what? The whole process or purpose of this fasting type diet is that you're trying to get rid of the toxins that you've been putting in your body. It mimics fasting, but it's allowing you to have nutrition so you can have the benefit of nutrition and the benefit of fasting at the same time.
So you're able to detoxify and your cells are able to regenerate at a faster rate. And the idea actually is that you would need less and less food as you progress in this type of lifestyle, that food wouldn't be as important and critical to your diet,
Right.
you know, to your daily,
Right.
you know,
Because
consumption of food. Like today, for instance, I've been making like a cup of oatmeal with our meal, and we realized, gosh, our bodies are becoming more efficient and they don't need as much food. We're getting full.
because we're having a bowl of greens with carrots and all sorts of vegetables, and plus rice and beans. Sometimes we have either temp or vegan sausage. You know, we have our regular, like what we would have at nighttime, you know, and then we add our oatmeal and our fruit as like almost like a dessert, but we're having everything that we need within that meal. But as you said, today, the 1 cup just seemed too much. Why is that happening? I'll explain to you. As your body becomes more and more clean, detoxifies, and more efficient, your body requires less food because you digest things better, and the food that you are eating is being used appropriately within your cell. There's metabolic things that are happening within the body and your cell that is utilizing the food, the nutrients that you're eating, for it to take place for your posture, your breathing, your exhalation, your liver, all the things that you need. It's not, you know, it's not just for you to walk and run. Things are happening behind the scene. So once your body becomes that efficient, you don't need as many calories. For maybe 2,000 calories, you only need 1,500, maybe 1,200, maybe 1,000. Your body's utilizing the food efficiently, so you need less and less. Now your body starts to utilize your stored fat. That's the name of the game of this OMAD diet.
Because we break into this realm of physical, like the body starts to go into this state of autophagy, which is actually, it's kind of gross, but the body is eating itself. Those dead parts inside that
the tumors,
are not good for
the
the body.
The things that you don't need. It even eats away at the excess muscle and muscle parts that are needed. And it works out balancing very well because you end up getting leaner, healthier, metabolism works great. You stay younger.
And it regenerates you.
Right. Many people don't realize that eating causes aging. It creates free radical. The more you eat, the more you waste away, the more you literally age. You know, so less food, the better. Just eating the right kind of foods that your body really needs, you know, to stay alive, to be healthy. So then you allow your body to learn how to really function efficiently.
And that does not mean that you can just buy yourself a big fat pizza and wings and sit down and scarf it down as your one meal a day and think that you're doing anything healthy for your body. I mean, yeah, you're eating one meal a day as opposed to eating a bunch of meals that are bad for you, but you're still eating one bad meal a day. So why don't you create a different diet called a one bad meal a day?
And you will lose weight at first because your body, you're probably used to having 5,000 calories a day, which, you know, 3,500 calories equals a pound. So if you're eating less than what you're used to, your body will start losing weight. But what kind of weight are you losing? You're losing water weight. Your body is utilizing muscle because it's breaking down the glycogen. The key of the name of the game is to burn fat, preserve your muscle, you know. Allowing your body to function like a well-oiled machine.
And don't let yourself be fooled by the scale. The scale, if you're looking at pounds or kilos or whatever, it's like, that's not going to tell you the whole story. You need to invest in a scale that gives you your body fat.
Yeah, your body composition.
Not BMI.
No, that means nothing.
Your body fat.
Right. So the name of the game is, let's say 2 people weigh 150 pounds. One person that weighs 150 pounds is nice and toned and lean and looks good because the denominator here is with your clothes off. The other 150-pound person is flabby, still fat. At 150 pounds, they have, let's say, a 30% body fat. Well, the other 150-pound person has an 8% body fat. Totally different. So what the scale is telling you, you can't go by that at all. You got to go by your clothes, the inches, and how much fat you're losing versus how much muscle you're gaining. And that's the name of the game. To gain as much muscle as possible. Muscle is your strength, your immune system, your vigor. It will keep you healthy and young.
if you're eating and you're finding yourself losing weight, but in reality what you're losing is muscle, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot, because your metabolism is already starting to become less effective in keeping you regulated.
Right. It's your metabolism is your furnace. What you want to do, the more muscle you have, it's like you're revving up that engine, and you're capable of burning fat. Teaching your body to utilize fat. Now, another misconception in this OMAD, which seems to be hand in hand with the ketogenic diet and the intermittent fasting crowd, they believe they can have bacon, they can have eggs, and they can have pork, and they can have all this, meat product, and they demonize carbs. Like, carbs are bad. Let me break something down for you. A gram of carb is equivalent to 4 calories. A gram of protein is equivalent to 4 calories. A gram of fat is equivalent to 9 calories. Do the math. Okay. A calorie is not a calorie, is not a calorie. You can eat 1,500 calories of junk food and 1,500 calories of healthy, well-combined macronutrients. You're going to feel a difference. You're going to see a difference. Your body's going to heal. You lose weight as your metabolism heals. As anything that is wrong within your cellular system heals, you will see that weight drop off. For those of you that are having difficulty losing weight and you're like, I'm stuck, I don't know what's going on, is because your body is trying to heal itself. It's not about the scale. It's about what you're doing into your insides. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
You can't, I read some of these comments, and there's one group that we belong to about 1 meal a day. And most of these people that are on this 1 meal a day, they're all still fat mentality people.
Yeah, well, it's another fad type diet. I wish I could sugarcoat it, literally, and tell you guys that if you're doing your best and you're restricting what you're doing and that you're not eating at McDonald's every week, but you're just going once every 2 weeks or once a month, that you're doing something. But in reality, if you don't just break the habit and just dig deep and cut it out, you're not helping yourself at all. You're actually disabling yourself, because what?
I'll tell you what. Okay, when you're an alcoholic, you know that when you stop drinking and you go to those AA meetings, you can never again touch another drop of alcohol. Alcohol is sugar. Sugar is one of the most addictive drugs there is. Okay, so when you're a food addict, you're an addict. You're just as bad as cocaine addict, an alcoholic, a heroin addict. You cannot continue to put your poison in there, because you will eventually go back to what you were doing before. Just as an alcoholic can't ever touch another drop of alcohol again, a foodaholic has to be very mindful what they put in their body. They can't sit there and go, well, I used to eat McDonald's every day, but I only now go once a month. Well, you know what? That once a month, you might be able to pull it off for a little bit, but before you know it, those eating monsters come back, and you end up going now twice a month, 3 times a month. Before you know it, you're back to eating every day at McDonald's.
And the concept of cheating, oh, I'm going to have a cheat meal. I look forward to my cheat meal.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that is that the body only knows consistency. The body doesn't know, hey, good job on you, Joe. You've been good all 6 days a week. 7th day, you can eat what you want. You're throwing off the chemistry that you're trying to fix by doing that. It's like throwing a monkey wrench into the equation. You can't do that. You have to continue your healing path, healing your cells. It's tough love, but it's the only way you're going to break through the addiction with food.
What if in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, the leader said, you guys can have a cheat meal, you can have a cheat drink every week.
Yeah.
I don't think that
flies in the circle. Because you can't tell a heroin addict, you know what, we're going to stop the heroin, you go through withdrawals. It's okay, you do it once a week. No, it doesn't work that way. Your brain doesn't understand that. Once you put that chemical in here and the dopamine release start all over again, you start the vicious addiction cycle over again. Take it from a person who's had eating disorders all their lives. And I know my limits. I know that I have to be my worst drill sergeant ever Because if I don't and I give myself a finger, I end up taking my entire hand. And that's how it works. Kid yourself not. The child mind will always want what they want. The adult mind has to take over and say, no, we are not doing this.
I think it's important to also understand and make the connection that sugar, alcohol, food, the sugar in food,
and the salt and the oils,
is the same addictive process to the brain. The dopamine release, all the different interactions that happen chemically in our body happens the same way with food that it does with an alcoholic drink.
It makes
or
you
cocaine.
feel good. It numbs you. It becomes your friend. It becomes your solace. It becomes everything. You will fight and cheat and steal for this feeling, this whatever it is that you feel when you put something in your mouth. The little memory of mommy making you those cookies that make you feel so good. It has emotion attached to it.
It's like a safe place for so many people.
You got to break that umbilical cord. You got to shit or get off the pot. That's the only way. That's why diets don't work. Because people think, okay, I'm going to do a diet for 3 months so I can fit in a wedding dress, and then you go back to eating again the same way before. Now, not only are you going to gain that weight you lost, you're going to gain it threefold, and it's going to become harder and harder to lose. It's tough love, people, but it is fact. It is true. You cannot play with stuff like that.
You really do have to get this attitude where you're actually mad at food.
Yeah.
That you're not going to let it control you anymore, and that you're going to rein in that desire of that food, whatever it might be, if it's bacon or pasta or ribs or McNuggets or whatever it is. Rein that thing in and don't let it take over you, because it does. And we're not helped by the food manufacturers either. The mass food industry here in America and around the world, they purposefully put ingredients in food. It's like, why do you think people think that McDonald's fries are so great? They lace that fry with some kind of concoction that makes it an addictive substance so that people buy the fry,
Exactly.
So I just think that,
And then you're feeding your bad bacteria. The name of the game is you need to allow your good bacteria to be the boss inside your intestines. So the good bacteria, you got to feed them the right kind of food so they control the bad guys. And the bad guys are the ones that are constantly crying for bad food. They're the ones that are giving you all these thoughts about, ice cream, cheesecake. It's not you. It's this bad bacteria that's taken over your brain and your body. So you've got to put them in line, and you've got to feed the right kind of food so that the good bacteria keeps the bad guys at bay.
And that's new information only within the last 10, 12 years. The study of the microbiome, the fact that we have trillions of bacteria that live within our bodies. It's like we have more bacteria than our own human cells inside of us. And somebody said, oh, we don't need fiber in our diet. And it's like, are you kidding me? Fiber is the building block for these bacteria to do their thing. That's what they feed on. So even though you don't need it necessarily, if you don't feel like you need it, but your bacteria needs it.
And
so
your intestines need it, your vessels need it. It cleans everything out. It's like a scrub. You require it for many cell functions.
How many miles of colon intestines
do
we have inside of us? It's this wave of tubing that, traps all kinds of gunk and meat and all these different pieces and parts of food that if we don't use fiber and have fiber in our diet, like eating oatmeal and, the different types of grains and things that clean us out and make us regular, then it just builds up. And why do you think colorectal cancer and colon cancer are so big?
And heart disease. And when you put that fiber, it cleans out the vessels, cleans everything out. It's like a scrub, magically keeping everything clean in your body. Somebody in the group also writes, weight should come off without exercise. You can lose weight without exercise. If you starve yourself, you're going to lose muscle. Now, I guess muscle weighs more than fat. But you need to lose fat so that your body composition shrinks and that your muscle tone starts to show. So weight loss is exercise is very important, not just for weight loss. We are individuals that require movement. We are very sedentary this day and age. Ride a car, we sit all day in office, we come home, we sit on the couch. You need to move. Without movement, your lymphatic glands don't work right, your heart doesn't work right, everything just becomes sluggish. You need to exercise, not for weight loss, but for your well-being, to tone up your muscles, to build muscles so that you don't get osteoporosis as you age, so that your body just starts to work efficiently. You need cardio too, so that your heart starts pumping correctly, to keep your blood pressure down. You know, it's very important. So some of the advice some of these people are giving in the group is just so deadly. Somebody writes, give up the idea of intermittent fasting being a diet. Eat to your heart's content. Don't count anything. And above all else, don't judge your food as bad or unhealthy. Nutrition starts in the mind. No, nutrition does not start in the mind. How you see food starts in the mind. But nutrition has specific factors and specific chemicals that are released in your body that create certain reactions. So don't buy the no food is bad BS. There are good food and there are bad food. Trust me, your body knows it.
I mean, there's this one, eating plan that was really popular back in the 90s and stuff. It was called the Weigh Down Workshop. And basically this woman, she was a dietitian out of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. She said that you could eat anything you wanted to eat. She made this big infomercial and sold books about it, talked about it, and she was a career lifelong thin person. Mm-hmm. So she already just doesn't even care about food, mm-hmm. but she's telling people, oh, you can eat as much chocolate as you want. You can eat as much candy and fat and anything is food. But do you realize that most of the food that's packaged in boxes these days is not even actually, if you were to chemically qualify it, it wouldn't even be food. It would be plastic. It would be some kind of man-made material, some synthetic.
Yeah, food comes from the ground. It's either a plant, green, vegetable, fruit, grains, legumes. But other stuff that you eat is not food, it's man-made. And your body has a difficult time breaking it down. Your cells have a difficult time recognizing it.
Millions of years has man been on this planet. And in only the recent last 100 have we gone to eating this way, in this manner, where there are grocery stores that sell more things in a box than are available just out in the open.
The produce section, I mean, it's really backwards. They have a small produce section, they have aisles and aisles of food that's not food.
And it makes sense for them because if they can package it in a box, they can keep it on the shelf for a very long time. And they don't have to worry about losing profits. But like if an apple goes bad or a banana or a cucumber, I mean, that stuff goes bad because it's natural. It's of the earth.
That's what it's meant to do. But people starting on this OMAD diet or intermittent fasting, realize what it's all about. It's about detoxifying your body, allowing your body to fast for 23 hours, and you do the what's that called?
Autophagy. Yeah. Autophagy.
And so the body can detox, so that your liver is able to go back and heal things that have been sitting there for a while. The benefits of one meal a day done properly is that you start getting better brain function. Your synapses start to work again. You get younger. Your cells start to work efficiently and with each other in harmony. You lose weight, you lose fat. I hate to use the word weight. You lose fat because losing weight and losing fat are two different things. You start to really feel energized. You start to need less and less food because your body becomes very efficient.
And basically, you begin the journey of breaking your food addictions, and you become a more efficient human being who doesn't need food. I mean, we have centered our lives around food. America has made a spectacle out of it. We make, you know, like Super Bowl Sundays, like a national holiday where we can just eat. Thanksgiving is another national holiday where it's like pig out day. And it's like, food should not be that important to the point where it becomes like this
Entertainment, soothing.
obsessed. Yeah, you know, and it's like, it's okay that food is an addictive thing, but marijuana is bad. I mean, it's like, you know, it doesn't make sense because food is one of the most addictive substances on this planet.
Just
Yet
like
everybody's given a free pass to just eat to your heart's content. You can do whatever you want. And people on this group are saying, just eat the rainbow of everything that you would ever want to eat. You know, pick up that fry and go to McDonald's and splurge and, you know, buy that pizza at Pizza Hut in the morning.
It's just
it's like an excuse to have a bad habit continue.
just another diet that gives people the license to eat what they want. Because people like that. They're like, so
Keto is the same way.
You know, it's like, I mean, I can eat all the butter I want.
You can have all the pork cracklings you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the food industry has become very smart and created these diets that give people this free range to eat whatever they want, staying within, you know, a caloric, whatever. And they think magically all the weight problems are going to go away. You got to fix your mentality. You got to fix the relationship you have with food. It's like the gastric bypass. People think that if they make your stomach
the size of a pencil,
okay, you're going to solve all your problems and you're going to be thin. And you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose a lot of weight in the beginning because your body is being malnourished. After a few years, your hair is going to fall off, the thyroid is going to shut down, and you're going to get very sick. A lot of people end up stretching that pencil back to the size it was before because your stomach is a muscle. Okay, so it's able to expand again. But now you've messed up your digestive and absorption system. So you're one big mess. Instead of having to change your stomach, you need to change the relationship with food. It's very simple. It's not that hard. I know we humans love to complicate things. We like to feel the victimhood mentality, you know, but it's easy. You just like Nike says, just do it. Cut the ties, heal yourself, find out why do you have this addiction? Why do you have this need to eat Pringles every night while you're watching TV? You've got to break that cycle. Do something different. It takes 2 weeks to develop a new habit. At first it's hard. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. I'm human. I've fallen off the wagon many of times. I had the biggest food addiction. I was bulimic, anorexic, you name it. I yo-yoed all of my life till I finally learned to have a better relationship with food. Am I completely healed? No. We don't ever completely heal ourselves. Unfortunately, those of us that have an addictive personality will always find a new addiction because it's part of our personality. But you can learn how to manage it. And you can learn how to have healthy addictions to replace those unhealthy addictions.
And that's the important thing to know, is that you can take control of your life. You can make the changes that you need to make. And no one is incapable of doing so. It's a matter of just making the decision and sticking to it and saying, enough is enough. I am tired of living this way. I want to change. I need to change. I want to live a healthy life into my old age. And I do not want food to be like this controlling taskmaster telling me what I can and can't do. You know, basically, people that are overweight and obese, food is basically telling them, you can't walk anymore. You can't exercise anymore. You can't go spend time with your children anymore. You're too tired. You're not going to be able to be more mobile ever because now I have you, you know, and if I have you, I want you sitting down in front of a table with the food that you like and eating it. That's all I want you to do. You know,
you can't allow a substance to control your life. I know that we use food as a crush, we use food as a numbing agent. We have to learn to find new ways to deal with our pain. Talk about it, bring it forth, write a journal your thoughts. You know, really understand that diets don't work. That it's about doing and putting the right things inside your body, moving, exercising, breathing, keeping yourself busy with things that are good for you. You know, people try to say, you guys are food snobs. Well, let me tell you, I'd rather be a food snob than a food slob.
Yeah.
Any day of the week, because I know the power of food. I know food can heal you, or I know food can make you very sick. And all the diseases that you see around you is not some unfortunate thing that happens to you. No, you create your diseases. You create your problems, and only you can take you away from that situation.
And that's the destructive behavior that man, unfortunately, has a real problem with, is just, you know, making excuses for bad habits, you know, telling himself or herself every single time, oh, if I could only do this, well, I'll just do this and I'll compromise here and this and that. And our body is this ancient machine that knows nothing but what it has been programmed to do. And that is all it wants to do. It doesn't care if, you know, if you're going to jump onto the OMAD diet. It just wants its nutrition. It wants to be able to regulate its system. Yeah, and it will survive, right?
Yeah,
it will survive.
Yeah.
I mean, this one guy said, oh yeah, do you remember the story of the guy who didn't eat for 385 days and he subsisted his life with basically just a multivitamin? The body is an amazing, you know, machine, and it can survive and stuff. And but here's the thing: your body's not designed to just survive. It's designed to thrive.
Right.
So survival is the start.
Right. And you hear people say, "Well, I got to die of something." Yeah, we're all gonna die. You do have to die of something. Dying is easy. If you die because of what you eat, you're off the hook. And I tell you something, I take it from a person who's worked in nursing homes, who's dealt with a lot of sick people, stroke victims, total brain injury, you name it. Living with a disease, having to inject insulin 3 times a day, having to have somebody wipe your ass because you stroked out, because you had high blood pressure from all the sodium and all the wrong foods you eat, that's no fun, my friend. Having your face droop and having whole side of your body not working, you can't walk, barely talk because you stroked out, that's not fun, my friend. Dying is easy. If you die, you're blessed. Living with a disease, which you will get if you don't eat right, now that's the problem. And not just for you, but the person that's next to you that has to take care of you. Or you'll end up in a nursing home, an assisted living facility or something, and have somebody have to take care of you for the rest of your life because of your poor choices.
So, I mean, people jumping onto the OMAD diet just because they want to lose weight,
That's not for that.
That's not what it's for.
That's not what that
Because
diet's
your body is just going to freak out.
You're malusing maladaptive skills and trying to fit something that is not meant for weight loss. Yeah, you will lose weight with the OMAD diet, but you've got to do it right so that your body becomes healthy, so that you're constantly burning fat, so that you're changing your whole metabolism, so that you're changing your health. That's what the OMAD diet is for.
So imagine the person who said that, you know, they sit down to a bottle of Chianti. Basically, what they're doing is making their liver work for the next 23 hours. Instead of doing other functions, which is to detoxify and to clean up things, you know, that are good for you, and to kind of put things in different places in your body. Now, the liver is having to work overtime in getting this poison, because the liver doesn't see alcohol as anything constructive or useful. It wants it out.
Yeah. right away too.
Out.
As soon as you put a drop of alcohol in you, liver's first task. It could have been in the middle of trying to like help heal a tumor. It will stop healing that tumor, and it will go to get rid of that alcohol that you put in. I have one thing to thank the keto diet, because when we went on the keto diet experimenting, we do a lot of experimentation. I did a lot of reading about alcohol because I used to love to drink. My father's an alcoholic. I've never been full-blown alcoholic, but I've always loved to drink, you know, especially the weekends. I wouldn't go out to a restaurant unless I knew I had either wine, beer, or tequila or something. When I went on that keto diet, and I want to know, can I drink if I'm on the keto diet? Because that was important for me then. And I found out exactly what alcohol does to my liver. That was all it took for me to say, I'm not drinking anymore. And there goes the fireworks. Yeah. I'm not drinking anymore. And I haven't drank. I remember when we did the keto diet, it's almost like 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, we bought a bottle of gin that's
yeah, and I haven't touched it. I haven't touched a drop of alcohol since. Because alcohol is destructive, not only to your brain and your brain cells, because it will ruin it, but it will ruin it.
So imagine you decide that, you can sit down to a bottle of champagne or Chianti and do whatever you want to do every day of the night, every night, to just eat your one meal a day. And what you're doing is making your body more toxic.
You're
it's like
in the strain that the OMAD diet is meant to get rid of. It's like, just don't do the OMAD diet. You want to keep eating your cannolis and whatever else and drinking wine, please don't do the OMAD diet, because you're going to hurt yourself. At first, it will appear that you're losing weight, but you're not losing weight. You're losing water. You're breaking down muscle. You're destroying your metabolism, and you're hurting your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your pancreas.
And please, please, whatever you do, don't post it and recommend it for people that are just barely getting into this, decision to just minimize that obsession of food. And to give them false hope into thinking that, I can have 5 Snickers,
As long as I stay within my caloric intake and I'm having a one time a day.
I'm staying within my eating window, I can eat a whole bucket of KFC. Yeah. It's like, no, you can't do that, because what you're doing is you're sabotaging yourself. And if you post that crap on social media, you're killing people.
See, fat and sugars don't jive together. Oil does not allow sugar to reach your cell. And your mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of your cell, needs that sugar to function. So now you added oil in there, so it ain't getting in there. And your body's just pumping out insulin like crazy. So now the more insulin you have, the more fat your body stores. Because now the insulin's trying to store that fat, and the sugar screaming, and the cell is screaming more for sugar, because your body requires sugar, your brain requires sugar, but the right kind of sugar, not simple sugar. Slow burning carbs, so that you have steady energy throughout the day, so that you're not doing this thing, and you're not storing.
And basically eating the wrong kinds of foods actually creates hunger pains.
Oh my God, yeah.
So you're asking for it, because now, since you decided to splurge on something that you think is okay because you're just eating it one meal a day, you're creating hunger where you could have been creating a peaceful satiety until you eat again.
Slow burning carbs will allow you to feel full. I mean, we ate our only meal today at, 1 o'clock, 1 something, almost 2. Stuffed still. I'm still regurgitating from and that will hold us through the entire night until tomorrow again. Tomorrow on an empty stomach, which is the way you burn fat and build a growth hormone. And we won't be hungry. I mean, when we eat, we're not even starving. No. We're just eating because we know we have to have that one meal.
Yeah.
But you got to do it right, people. You've got to really try to understand the relationship you need to develop with food, so that you win the battle, so that you stop battling with yourself and battling with your addictions. It's not that difficult. You have to allow the adult brain to take over and keep that child brain tamed. That's the only way. That's the only way. Diets don't work. Whether you do the OMAD, whether you do intermittent fasting, whether you do the keto, whatever it is that you do, you got to realize that it's not going to work unless you change the relationship you have with that food.
That's pretty much it.
I think that's pretty much what we covered. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to write the questions down below and we will answer them. You know, it's really sad that we've allowed the food industry to poison us. We've allowed the food industry to make us sick and to, you know, ride on this like merry-go-round or hamster wheel. Because I mean, how many people out there, seriously, how many people out there have tried all sorts of diet and you yo-yo and you fail and you feel disgusted with yourself and you hate yourself and you're always starting a diet on a Monday and come Friday, that diet's out the window because you don't have any self-control. You just, and it's not that you don't have self-control, it's that you're putting in the wrong kind of foods that make you hungry, make you crave more of the bad things. Eliminate the bad things and you will eliminate the cravings and you will beat this. I have faith in you.
I just think it's just common sense. If we could just all get back to using our instinctual human understanding that if you put junk in, you're not going to get good things out of it. You know, I mean, and that was my question that I posed in the group last night when I said, you know, my thought is that my gut feeling tells me that if I put junk in, that I'm not going to be very successful at making my body whole. You know, I mean, you have to eat good foods, you know, good, real food, not the stuff that they market, not the stuff that you're seeing on TV to, you know, to promote, not anything like that. Real food, the stuff that's not advertised.
And people, you know, one of the guys in the group said to me, well, what is healthy food and what's not? Because if you're into the keto, you're thinking carbs are poison. It's very simple. Look at what your body's meant to eat. We don't have rough tongues. Remove the hide. Okay, if you didn't have a butcher, Publix, Walmart, wherever it is that you buy your food, Albertson, you didn't have that butcher to cut all that stuff for you, I bet you'd starve because you wouldn't go out there and have to skin the thing. And by the time you're wasted trying, you don't have the energy to do all that. Okay, we don't have the nails. We don't have the capabilities of killing an animal to eat it.
I mean, I don't have the mentality that I want to jump on the back of a cow and start biting it.
Carnivorous animals do, you know, that's what, so, you know, you've got to really understand what you are meant to eat. Stuff that comes from the ground, stuff that comes from a tree, grain, nuts, and seeds, those are natural, healthy foods. Good karma, too. You know, when you eat the other stuff, you're dealing with suffering, especially this day and age, the way they treat animals. So it's a no-brainer. What is healthy and what is not healthy? Oils are not healthy. Why? Because oils are extracted. They go through a chemical process that is not natural. You can eat avocados. I was going to say eat all the avocados you want, but no, you don't want to eat all the avocados. Eat an avocado a day, a small one. Have some nuts and seeds. Those are the fats that you need to put in your body because they're whole. They have fiber in them, and your body can do something with it. Oil does not. Oil is synthetic. It's a man-made thing.
We saw this sign at a botanical garden that we visited yesterday, and it was talking about composting food and things like that. So how to start a compost and what ingredients to put in and what ingredients to leave out. And I find it quite telling, the stuff that they wanted you to leave out.
Cheese,
meat, dairy, fish, oils.
Because that stuff doesn't compost. It would rot. And it would ruin the beauty of what compost does, which is create what I like to call black gold. That is the best fertilizer for your plants to grow. So if all that stuff, meat, dairy, fish, poultry, all that stuff, putrefies and can't be composted, imagine what it does in your gut flora, in your gut in general. It putrefies. It creates toxicity, creates inflammation, and inflammation leads to cancer and all sorts of diseases.
And 1 out of 3 in this country is dying of cancer.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's
it's best to leave meat and animal products behind, because animal protein triggers cancer cells. Ironically, amazingly, plant protein does not.
It actually stops the growth of cancer. It halts it in its track.
And this isn't some kind of a push towards eating as a vegan, plant-based eater, but do the math and figure it out for yourself. You take a risk when you put another piece of meat in your mouth. Whereas if you put grains in your mouth, if you put a vegetable in your mouth, like a really dark green cruciferous vegetable, your body's going to thank you.
Totally. Your mind is going to thank you. You're going to find that the health is yours for the taking. You won't have to go visit a doctor. But you're going to age gracefully without having to go and get Botox and plastic surgeries, which is another crazy thing, putting all those poisons in your body. I mean, this is the body you're given. This is your temple. You need to learn how to take care of that temple. And we all make mistakes in life. And we all have had a destructive path with our bodies here. And like I said, I had the worst food addiction ever. I mean, you talk about food addiction, this person here had it. And I had a terrible relationship with food, and it all stemmed from a lot of childhood trauma, which is another video on its own. You develop, it's like your little blanket of security, and you're eating it, it makes you feel good. But you need to eat food that loves you back, not foods that you love. That's the mentality. When you eat something, you got to tell yourself, what nutrients am I getting here, and what is this food doing to my body?
And that goes over the sense of how good it tastes, how you like it, your favorite type food. And, if your favorite type food is ice cream, but ice cream is not healthy for you, then I would say drop the ice cream. Substitute with something else, there's so many great alternatives these days.
You can make your own ice cream, and you can make it very healthy. If you need to transition to eat no ice cream, you could do frozen bananas. You could do soy milk with that frozen banana. You could add some more frozen fruit, add some stevia, blend it, and it'll come up as an ice cream. If that's you're looking for that kind of satisfaction, that stimulation. But eventually, when you stop having that love affair with food and you start looking at food differently, ice cream is not even going to be an issue. You're just going to eat the things that you know that are healthy for you. And it will take time, but you have to do something towards it.
We built our lives around food, and we structured social, get-togethers, family moments and everything. We've tied food into those gatherings, and no wonder we're so emotionally connected to it, because grandma made these awesome snickerdoodles at Christmas time, and I've got to make the same recipe for my kids. Or my aunt used to make really good peanut brittle, and now around the holidays, or say the Girl Scouts are selling their cookies, and every March I have to get a box, because there's an emotional connection to this addictive substance, which we call food, but which is really a lot of times is just a drug. So our attitudes need to really change.
Right, and you need to realize that food is not your friend. You need nutrient to keep you alive. Nutrient and food don't always go hand in hand. You've got to be the adult. You've got to take over that child brain and start creating new programs. Start doing other things that are healthier for you to give you that dopamine release. And eventually try to find out that We don't live based, we're not monkeys that perform for peanuts. You know, we are human beings that are adults and need to navigate this life as adults. That we don't have to say, oh, I'm so tired, I worked so hard, I gotta pat myself in the back, and I'm gonna have myself a big bowl of ice cream.
And I think we've lost our sense of humanity when we believe that food is our only way to be sustained. You know, I think that, you know, the ancient cultures had an understanding and connectedness to this earth that surpassed the food. You know, I mean, they may have gotten their sustenance from other sources that we don't even recognize anymore because we've been so dumbed down to think that this is the only way that we can survive.
That's the only way we can get nutrients. You get nutrients from the sun. How do plants get nutrients? The sun, from the rain, from the air you breathe. Meditating, talking to yourselves, allowing yourself to free yourself from these addictions that got you enslaved completely.
And basically learning to love yourself. You know?
Totally. I mean, that's the name of the game. Is once you feel good about yourself and you're happy, you're not looking for external means to provide that happiness. The happiness you're seeking is within you, not outside of you. All right. Well, I think we've kind of yeah, that's all we got. We'll be back on Tuesday for Real Talk with the Cummings. A lot of health topics, a lot of important information. If you guys have any questions or any topics that you want us to cover, please email us at transitionradioshow@gmail.com. And, you know, we'll be more than happy to address the topic. If you want to be interviewed by us, we'll be more than happy to do that. You know, we are always seeking for truth and we are always growing. A lot of people take us as not stable, crazy people that change their minds all the time. Well, the only constant in life, you know what that is? Change. That's it. And if you're not growing and evolving, you're stagnating, you're just stubborn as heck in your beliefs, and this is the only way, you're not going to get anywhere there. You're really not, you know. But we're always evolving, and I love that. I love that about us. I think that's why we fit so well together. You know, and we don't always agree. I mean, sometimes we do this dance until in the end, and we're like, okay, yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, you tap into certain, you know, things of the past, and then it's too fresh of a wound, and then you're trying to sort out those things, and then, you know, we don't agree on every single topic that we cover and talk about. But the beauty is that, you know, we learn from each other. We grow. You know, it's like two swords sharpening themselves against each other, you know, to make us more efficient and more, you know, to gain more wisdom, you know. So I'm glad we're together. I'm glad that we've learned these lessons and that, you know, we're setting ourselves up for a great future.
Yeah, and we love to share with you guys. You know, we love to, you may not agree with us, but if we could just spark a thought process or go, they're onto something, you know, and that's what we aim to do, because we are all one. There's no separation. And, you know, I help me, I help you, and vice versa. That's how it works. And there's a lot that we've been lied about. I mean, there's so many topics that, oh my God, that we can touch upon. And we will in our shows.
Yeah.
And as things arise, like today, it wasn't scheduled, but, you know, I felt it was important to talk about this OMAD diets, you know, and called OMAD for Dummies, you know, because there's so many lies out there about this lifestyle.
And actually, there's a lot of people that really are just misinformed.
Yeah, very misinformed.
You know, and they don't, you know, and it's not necessarily their fault, because one group is saying one thing and the other one's saying another thing. And then you've got, you know, the health industry and fitness industry saying one thing, and then you got the government saying something else, and the diets.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of confusion.
The medical and everything, you know, it's like you don't know where to go for the truth. But what you need to do at that point is to stop, Disconnect yourself from all those sources and look within.
Meditate. Ask your higher self, what do you need to eat? You know, if what you're putting in your mouth doesn't feel right, you have guilt about it. You just, you know, you ate it and the next day you don't feel so good. And start listening to your body. Start writing down. Create a journal. I always tell that to all my clients. I want you to keep a journal. And I want you to write everything you eat. And I want you to write how you felt before you ate it, while you ate it, and after you ate it. Start to really learn that relationship you have with that food. Start to really learn the reaction that food has within you. And before you know it, you're going to learn you, because you need to learn you. We all need to learn ourselves. We need to understand who we are. Not what the TV tells you, not what somebody else tells you, not what you saw on the internet. You need to learn yourself. You need to learn what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. The reality of you, not the gendered you, not the ego you, not the you see in the mirror, the internal you. Start building a relationship with you. Do that by journaling. Be surprised when you learn and how well you look up. That's it, folks.
That's all we got.
All right, so love you. Remember to always love yourselves too. Bye-bye.